gonna be honest with you, this next part of the video is kind of dangerous. Dangerous because, well, the anime we know and love is gone. Because it's not just some girls running around on a screen anymore. It's a $28 billion system that controls hundreds of thousands of real lives, and whose influence has reached hundreds of millions more. So when we talk about fixing it, we're talking about fighting politics, multi-billion-dollar companies, and centuries-old traditions, which, I mean, at the end of the day, that just sounds like we're gonna need a lot more people. Luckily for us, it's not like this hasn't happened before. 4 years before Tezuka would make his debut, his role model Walt Disney was experiencing a similar fallout, as a giant portion of his workforce went on strike for, quote, unfair and disorganized pay practices, after the man himself told them that they should essentially shut the fuck up and go focus on making good work instead. Which kind of begs the question, how did Japan go so wrong? I mean, the unions caught up pretty quickly to Disney after what he did, but Miyazaki couldn't? I mean, Miyazaki and his 98 other friends? Surely they could have fought on for a few more years and avoided this entire shit show, and history would forever know the name of the Toei Animation Labor Union. No. If you take a look at all the anime released nowadays and trace them back to what studio made them, you'll realize that, well, there's not a lot of Toei here. So what exactly would the Toei Union do for anyone who works outside of Toei? Yeah. Nothing. Which is exactly why, even though on paper they accomplished a lot, in reality the Toei Union didn't really do much at all. Because they worked to better the conditions at Toei, not anime. And well, aside from Janica, there was never an anime union. And given that everyone's outsourcing everyone now, it's kind of not possible to make one. Which makes anime the only instance I know of where the companies are better at organizing themselves than the workers. But at the end of the day, unions, politics, power, it all precipitates the actual problem. Money. God, the show's fucking weird. Because regardless of how many other things people want to try and solve first, from how inefficient making anime is to the looming aging crisis it'll soon face, it all stems from the fact that no matter which way you put it, no one's gonna work 7-day, 100-hour work weeks for months on end getting paid anywhere from less than $3 an hour to $5 a fucking day. Because it's just not right. And if you speak in business better than morals, it's not operationally sustainable. And unless people are content with letting Japanese anime, with all of its history, its people, its products, and its influences burn straight into the ground and become another part of history where we wonder what could have been, nothing's going to change. Which means that, well, the fate of anime is really up to the people that watch it, us, to decide whether or not we're okay with the way history is going. Not knowing that behind every opening we skip, every filler episode we see, and every canceled season we lament, the people who made what changed so many of our lives continue to fight, to share their dreams with us, to share their stories with us, to share their anime with us. And I think it's about time we give something back. For the first time I fucking use this thing for anything outside. Okay, I mean I messed with the final one, so it's fine. Still got some time. It's cold. Let's go.
Honestly, everything is so fucked up. There's so many problems with anime that I honestly just feel it'd be best if it went and died.
Real has many definitions, but if I were to pick one right now, I would say behaving or presenting in a way that feels true, honest, or familiar without pretension or affection. This is not a real person. Get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head, get out of my head! If you haven't seen one, this is called a VTuber. It's, for the most part, someone with motion tracking software who operates under the guise of an anime person. Many of them adopt mannerisms to better fit the backstory they made for their character. For example, this one likes referencing carrots because she's a rabbit, or this one who pretends to be bad at basic math because it's cute. There's all sorts of characters and backstories, and nearly all of the most well-known ones are either Japanese or English-speaking women. I have to give this definition because I've shown exactly 3 people this in real life and have gotten, quote, what the fuck is that? Is this real? And do people actually watch this? In response, all of them laughed. Yet almost every single one of the top 15 highest earning super chats on YouTube are owned by VTubers. Look at Giga, he looks like he's about to get his fucking nails clipped at the vet. YouTubers everywhere will not stop posting about them. They're clearly popular, so I think it's important to approach this with an open mind. VTubers are not inherently bad. In fact, so many of them are extremely talented and natural-born entertainers that can captivate an audience of millions without being obsessed with drama or being negative in the slightest. Many of them play instruments, sing, and play games at a high level. These girls are famous for a reason, usually. But I don't understand the appeal on a personal level.
Come on, baby, kiss me. Kiss me. Kiss me, Mario.
My friend who enjoys VTubers watched this clip and was in pure glee. I've only heard this fat bastard rant about 2 things. This clip and some sandwich called the fucking heart clogger that he gets from the grocery store, so I knew that this was special. But when I watched that clip, I honestly wanted to rip her hair out and stuff it in my ears and light the ends on fire like a wick. I hate VTubers. When I see them on screen, my heart starts pumping, my eyes go bloodshot, and I go dizzy. Why? How did these guys blow up under so many people's noses? Where did they come from? I want to answer these questions because honestly the video was just going to be a quick rant, but I gradually became fascinated in the plot twists and reasons why people enjoy VTubers. So those of you who love them and people who hate them, hold hands as I take you through Act 1. In 2000, Yamaha sound guy Ken Mochi Hideki starts a project called Daisy, which aims to generate human-sounding vocals from text like beep beep bop beep, kind of like Animal Crossing. Thanks to Yamaha, Daisy got promoted and fully fleshed out as Vocaloid, which was released in 2004 and marketed towards professional musicians. The problem is, at the time, everyone thought robots, professional software. This is baby shit. Nobody cared about it and it was dismissed as just a toy. But very slowly over the years, Vocaloid was being taken more and more seriously. And in 2007, Krypton Media has an idea. They take Vocaloid, make mascots, make the main mascot 16, and drop a new sound pack. It worked. Hatsune Miku was hot. Music artists would make collabs with her Vocaloid pack and animate her moving and shit. This caught on in Japan like crazy. Eventually, she starts selling out actual concerts. She tops out iTunes' best-selling chart. An unbelievable amount of porn is made. But the big takeaway here is that Japan discovered something big. Hatsune Miku is marketable as fuck. Domino's, clothing, Funko Pops, hot dogs, or something. It didn't just matter that Hatsune Miku could hit iTunes top 10 list a week after making a song. What mattered was that we can completely manufacture a cultural phenomenon, manipulate every part of her persona, and not have to pay them royalties for making merch, commercials, or collaborations. It's genius. Oh, your influencer got caught doing blackface again this month. I just fucking programmed mine not to do that. Now, does it work 100% of the time? Well, that's a complicated. It's estimated that in 2012, Hatsune Miku acquired a whopping 10 billion yen since her debut, which translates to a whopping $6 USD. Seeing this, an unknown production crew thought, hey, I could do that, and debuted Kizuna AI in 2016. She very closely resembles the VTubers today, but instead of running the risk of it being a fat middle-aged Hispanic man, Kizuna AI is actually like 8 middle-aged fat Hispanic men. She debuted on YouTube in November of 2016 and mostly creates largely scripted and pre-recorded content. Look at her, those were fucking pigs. Which wasn't really a problem with people. Anime is scripted and people certainly love those characters, so it only makes sense that there's an appeal for something like Kizuna to exist. I believe that most people aren't under the impression that this is a real girl with a real personality and, you know, blah, blah, blah. In fact, she's basically a goddamn puppet. Even her voice actress is completely disposable. I think I read she's got like 5 substitutes that share her cold metal cage of a body. And Japan had done it again. Kizuna was a goddamn hit. She's the cover girl of Cup Noodle, she's been on the TV and news multiple times, done ads, and honestly, more impressive than all that, she collaborated with PewDiePie. Enter the third major character. HoloLive. HoverCorp, which works with alternate reality, sees the massive success of Hatsune Miku and Kizuna AI and says, hey, I could do that. So they did. Sometime in 2017, HoverCorp released a smartphone app called HoloLive, which would allow you to view a VTuber live while they stream. This changes things. Yep, it's only one fat guy now. HoloLive held auditions for extremely talented women, and jokes aside, a lot of them are also very pretty in real life. Now, there may be some coaching involved, but for the most part, these girls have creative control over what they stream, if or not they curse, etc., and HoloLive provides them with a rigged up 3D model, an iPhone X, and a high-spec gaming PC. Blah, blah, blah. They're basically a management company for aspiring VTubers. You could be a VTuber. Unless you're a guy, then chances are slim. And of course, this caught on fire, and other companies thought, hey, I could do that. So they did. But instead of just working in Japan, Nichi Sanji went to Mr. Worldwide and spread out in China, Japan, Indonesia, India, and Korea. So HoloLive said, hey, I could do that. And then there's a ton of VTubers all over the world. The end. Holy shit, America likes VTubers. Barker comes flying up in the charts and is the most searched for VTuber in 2020. Moricality comes straight out of nowhere at a tremendous upset. See, if you like anime at all and watched a VTuber video once thinking, what is this? Surprise, these little fuckers are going to ruin your recommended feed forever. Enjoy. So a lot of Americans were already introduced to VTubers, especially since there are channels dedicated to taking funny clips from their streams and translating them just hours after the fact. You have an abundance of binge-worthy content, and now HoloLive is making an English branch, coupled with Japan's aging population and business, was booming. It still is. Japan, America, Indonesia, VTubers have triumphed over what's considered normal to cement themselves as a very real and lucrative industry. September 24th, 2020. Akai Hato goes over her analytics with her audience to see which countries watch her the most. Did you catch that? That's okay, neither did she. Xiao KOkomi, who's one of the biggest VTubers in the world, does the same thing the next day. And thus, the two slept as some rich-ass bitches. Someone was at the door. She replies, the Chinese. Both Hato and Coco made the mistake of mentioning Taiwan in their analytics, which China does not officially recognize as an independent country. Chinese viewers were not happy. In fact, they were pissed. And if you don't know, Asian countries go hard as fuck with their trolling. Coco and Hato were suspended for 3 weeks for saying the word Taiwan, but the viewers were not satisfied. Well, they believed that Akai Hato had made an honest mistake. That harlot Xiao KOkomi had to pay. Raids, smear videos, multiple VTubers were doxxed, anything to get revenge. They even go so far as to continuously buy YouTube accounts to keep it going. One guy even allegedly dropped his social credit score to 0 and ruined his life because he used a VPN. This new faction is called the Antis. Because HoloLive has yet to ban Coco, they've developed a vendetta against the company. To this day, they're kind of active. You can see them in chat or their Facebook propaganda, which is banned in China, so they gotta be using a VPN to switch their location to a nearby country. Just saying. HoloLive then had 2 options. They can continue expanding in China and allow their new Chinese overlords to permanently ban VTubers on a whim, or leave, which they did. And that's the story of how a single word dissolved the entire Chinese branch of HoloLive. Didn't really do much though. Yeah, it was on the news and Hirohei made like 600 videos about it, but VTubers just kind of moved on and are doing better than ever. Finally, the next generation. Remember how we found out VTubing is pretty big here? Well, a bunch of English-speaking boys and girls started paying hundreds all the way up to thousands for rigging commissions, avatars, etc. It's now gotten to the point where anyone with a camera can go, hey, I can do that, because they literally can. And this is where a lot of cringe comes in for me personally. Act 3. We've learned the history of VTubers, but now can we get a little bit more personal? If you enjoy them, that's your business, and hopefully you can find what I've been saying so far entertaining. But for my boys,
I am the greatest treasure hunter the world has ever seen.
Look, I personally can't get into that because I personally find it creepy, horrifying, disturbing, and to be honest with you, kind of fucked up in the head.
the boys that understand,
She's an anime woman just sitting there screaming in Japanese, and it's scary, alright?
this is for you, bro. Not really the first guy though, he was going crazy. I honestly thought I was alone in despising these trollops. Online, I see overwhelming love for VTubers, and as much as I'm happy for those people, and especially the VTubers themselves, who've earned a spot atop the most well-known streamers around, I still think it's super fun to make fun of them. And I haven't really seen a lot of my kind out there, so let me break it down. I do not understand them. People have often used the phrase cute girls doing cute things to describe why they like certain shows. I've always thought of it more as stupid fucking idiots doing dumb shit. I'm fully aware that I'm a weirdo. I've asked the most manly dudes around to normal, casual friends if they hated this clip as much as me. and almost all of them had no issue with it. Many even said it was cute. On the other hand, I look at that clip and cringe. It makes me uncomfortable and most of all annoyed, because I feel entertainment is at its best when the line between realism and fiction is distorted. I enjoy media that provides a reflection of very real things that we experience, whether it be in dialogue, delivery, or the actions characters take, and then flip it and do something crazy with the story. As I reflect on my favorite shows, almost all of them fit under that description. I thought of this in the shower while I was washing my balls and threw in the script, so it might not be that airtight yet. But I've noticed that anime can frequently put up a barrier between that realism and the characters they portray. There's certain formulas and tropes that authors feel they have to play into to appeal to certain audiences. In weaker shows, the main character will be some whiny bitch boy that is in love with justice, to which he's rewarded with a slew of girls that are attracted to his righteousness. Does that happen in real life? Not really, but as a kid I used to imagine that's what would happen to me, and I really enjoyed shows like that. That's why this character type exists. Female archetypes like tsunderes, yanderes, etc. that you would hate to interact with are popular because author knows that works for whatever reason. Even in good shows, you'll have characters which are basically downloaded from a list of personality types instead of being a product of reality. So to me, the less that characters act like anime characters, the better they are, with exceptions. Cute anime girls annoy the shit out of me because it's not genuine. I've spoken to at least 1,000 women at this point and never met someone who genuinely speaks and acts like this. Maybe you have, but when I see it, I imagine some dude who's completely estranged from the youth writing his fifth knowing that's what's hot right now. Am I overthinking things? Yes, but I'm putting words into a feeling that's been sitting in my belly for years. So when you take this and make a real person act like they're that, it doubles the cringe factor. I don't want to see a person pretending to be a thing, pretending to be another thing that doesn't exist and never has. So that's why it irritates me so much when I see a VTuber going, it's uncanny, uncomfortable, and not genuine to me. Even though blah blah blah, that's not the point, they're supposed to adopt the persona. It's how I feel, dude. There ain't much I can do to change it. Let's examine the various types. Baby talk. This is pretty much ubiquitous in the VTuber community and also the one that makes me the most mad. Japanese VTubers will talk like this. American VTubers will talk like this.
Oh, we can let peace die. Hi, Sensei, how are you?
Oh, you're going to airplane. Oh, don't mind me. Skinny Winky, my diaper. Oh, change me, please.
I like to imagine there's a bald white guy in a big ass pull up behind the monitor. That makes me laugh the most. I'm sure it's a very pretty adult woman on the other end. Don't get upset. Now, quick quiz. Are we watching the season finale of Teletubbies or Twitch?
Wow! Whoa!